Hello, welcome to Vocabulary Study Set 8. We start with the prefix co, com, then move on to the roots form and tract. The Set 8 forget-me-not is that words have multiple meanings. Do not forget that even if you think you know what a word means, that it may have several meanings and several applications. Studying vocabulary opens the doors to those other meanings. And in doing so, you will have a broader understanding of what the word really, truly means. Don't write off vocabulary because there is always more to that vocabulary. There's typically more to vocabulary than what meets the eye. The prefix co or the prefix com means with or together. Our first word is coexist. It is a verb that means to exist at the same time or in the same place, to exist in peace with one another. The example sentence is, the French and Native Americans were able to coexist for many years because the French did not compete for land, nor did they try to change the Native Americans. The second word is cohesive. It is an adjective that means describing something that sticks or is causing things to stick together tightly, relating to something strongly connected. The team was cohesive and their unity shone through in the quality of their work. Notice that team is not something physical, it's not something actually sticking together. It's the idea of sticking together and being closely interwoven and connected. Cohesive can mean either one, physical or idea, metaphorically. Commiserate is a verb that means to feel or express sympathy, compassion, or pity for someone. My friends came to my home to commiserate my failed business venture. The next term is coincidence. It is a noun that means events or circumstances that happen at the same time by chance, especially if their occurrence seems unlikely or is unexpected. It was the strangest coincidence that we both showed up to the same coffee shop after not seeing each other in months. Lastly, we have composition. Composition is a noun. It is the manner in which something is constructed. For instance, a water molecule is constructed of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. It is the product of putting things together, what happens once you put everything together. And then it is also an intellectual creation, especially writing or music. How were the notes composed? How are the paragraphs or sentences woven together to create a story? The example sentence is, the lyrics greatly complemented the piano composition. Form is the root we will be discussing in this grouping. It means shape. We will start with the term formulate. Formulate is a verb. It means to create or devise a plan strategically, to prepare according to a formula, or to express an idea in a carefully planned way. She was careful to formulate her response in a way that could not be misinterpreted. The next word is conform. It is a verb and it means to comply with rules, standards, or laws. It also means to behave in an acceptable manner or to be similar or identical in structure. The building on 2nd Street does not conform to local regulations. It does not comply with the rules, the standards, or the laws. The noun transformation is next. The definition is a change in form in terms of character, appearance, mathematical formulas, or scientific processes. The mathematical transformation required dilating the figure by a scale factor of 4. If you don't remember this from math class, it's making a shape bigger by multiplying it by 4. Now, uniform is one of those words where you probably know at least part of the definition. However, uniform is both a noun and an adjective. So even though you probably know the noun, distinctive clothing that has been required, you may not know the full definition of the adjective. So before I move on to adjective, let me just give you the example sentence for uniform as a noun. The waiters all have the same uniform so that they appear to be a collective unit. Now, setting that aside, let's move on to adjective. When it is an adjective, uniform means unchanging in form or character, consistent and invariable. It is always the same. All throughout, it's the same. If you're drinking lemonade and every bit of lemonade is exactly the same as the next bit, that would be uniform. Now, that's hard with lemonade, but there are materials and substances that are uniform throughout. The chicken is uniform in shape and size, so it should cook evenly. Following uniform is the word formal, an adjective that means relating to something in accordance with established form and custom, such as a formal dinner party or a formal gown, categorized by a high level of respect, or done traditionally or officially. My formal application or my formal resignation. An example sentence is, Jacob is quite formal when he addresses his bosses. It's categorized by a high level of respect. The final grouping today deals with the root tract, which means pull. The verb distract is the first term in this grouping. Distract means to pull someone's attention away from something else, to divert someone's attention. So if someone was really focused on something and you started talking and now he or she is looking at you, that's to divert someone's attention. And then to prevent someone from giving their full attention to something. For instance, if you are reading and the room is noisy, it is hard to give your full attention to the reading. Whether it's hard to concentrate or you're trying to listen to the dialogue in the room, either way, it's a distraction. My father told me that such loud music would distract me from my work, and my lack of focus suggested that he was right. Next, we have contract or contract. It is a noun and a verb. As a noun, contract means a written or spoken agreement that binds two or more parties together. Remember that parties can be a person or a group of people. Annie signed the contract after thoroughly reading the terms and conditions. Now, as a verb, contract means to pull together or inward to make smaller, to catch an illness or disease, or to become smaller, fewer, or narrower. You are more likely to contract an illness if you do not frequently wash your hands. Following contract is the word retract, which is a verb that means to pull back, to withdraw something untrue or unjustified. Tomorrow, the editor-in-chief will formally retract a story based on an untruthful testimony. He will take back that story as true. The term extract can be a verb or a noun. When it is used as a verb, extract means to remove or pull out, typically by force. To deduce, which means figure out. Bridget used the tweezers to extract a particularly painful splinter from her foot. As a noun, extract means a concentrated substance removed from another substance. So maybe you have vanilla extract. It also means a short piece of writing published separately from its whole. The publisher arranged for an extract from the book to be released online as a preview of the material. I'm just taking this little piece of writing from this big book and I'm going to publish it to get people interested. Last but not least is the verb detract, which means to diminish the worth or importance of something. It's like yanking or pulling that importance or worth away. Detract in an example sentence is the use of too much salt in a dish can detract from the overall flavor. It will take away or pull you away from the flavor you want in the dish. Now for your parting study tip. Last time, we discussed researching sentences that use the vocabulary words. A necessary step. However, you can take that even further. Take it 10 steps further. How? By writing the sentences yourself. So now that you know how to use the word, you should try to put them into sentences without help. If you can do that consistently, then you understand the word and you understand how it is used. It also promotes memory because you're writing by hand and you're applying the information you've learned. It's not stuck as a vocabulary word, you're actually using it.